the Coyote Twin, Vermilion's downtown theater, providing entertainment Thursdays through Sundays. This week, the Coyote Twin will be premiering Dune, a sci-fi adventure that features Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya.
On Coyote News, the taste of Vermilion's water.
Plus, a gala that celebrates the history of a campus community. Coyote News starts right now.
Live from the Al Newharth Media Center, this is Coyote News.
Good evening, I'm Sierra Prue.
And I'm Rachel Peckosh. We'll have those stories and more, but first, SGA senators passed an emergency resolution last night urging USD to produce a formal plan for the Opportunity Center required by the South Dakota Board of Regents. The resolution calls for the university to formally announce a concrete plan for the implementation of an Opportunity Center by November 24th. Senators say the plan should include details on where the funds will come from, how the center will operate, and the notice of any changes to existing USD operations. The measure indicates that the BOR refused to promise protection for the Center for Diversity and Community at a meeting regarding Senate Bill 55. During the session, students expressed concerns that the Opportunity Center will harm the CDC's current role as a haven for students to express themselves freely.
That Opportunity Center's directive continues to cause some confusion amongst USD students. Students and community members peppered the Board of Regents with questions at a listening session last week. As Coyote News' Kyle Ireland reports, the board offered few answers.
The board is imposing a January 1st deadline for universities to have opportunity centers in place. The board imposed the deadline after a May letter from Governor Kristi Noem. She asked the board to consider whether university diversity offices are experiencing mission creep. According to the board, opportunity centers should realign and focus campus resources to effectively assess and address the individual needs of all students. Every university in the state already has some form of a diversity center, which offers programs and services to students from all walks of life. Addison Miller is a concerned student. He says students support the current Center for Diversity and Community at the University of South Dakota.
I think one clarification that just everyone wants to hear is can the Board of Regents promise that the Opportunity Center will not take away resources from the CDC? And if it can't, why are you doing it?
The meeting continued with more students and community members sharing their concerns and questions. Sheila Gestring is the president of USD. She says the university and the board will continue to hold community outreach to hear what people have to say. Gestring also says there are things about the opportunity centers that the universities don't know.
There's some assumptions that have been made when those decisions haven't been made yet. And I want everyone to just stop and think about this Opportunity Center is going to help us build on and broaden student services.
The board's next meeting is in December at South Dakota State University in Brookings. Reporting for Coyote News, I'm Kyle Ireland.
Thanks, Kyle. Coyote News and the Volant continue to follow this ongoing story. Coyote News' Michael Stake is live in the muck with a reporter to get more details. Michael?
Thanks, Sierra. I'm here with Bennett Clary, a member of the Volant. Bennett, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. So at the meeting, President Gestring was quoted saying, "I think all of us could benefit from really looking at what the Opportunity Center statement says." What did she mean by that?
I think that she just wants us to take a closer look at the language that was used, because for the Opportunity Centers, they don't use words like diversity, equity, or inclusion. Instead, they use the words that define those words to create less confusion.
And was there any discussion on the issue of transparency between the BOR and the students they oversee?
There was a bit of discussion about that. Students feel like the BOR isn't discussing or isn't sharing enough information with the students at this moment, and students are getting very frustrated because their questions aren't being answered.
And lastly, how important is it to have a safe space in a predominantly white school?
For students of color to have a safe space like the CDC or the NAC, to have that space in a predominantly white institution, it's so important because that's the one space that we can sit and exist and talk about things that other people wouldn't understand to the same extent.
Thank you for being here today. Live in the muck for Coyote News, I'm Michael Stake.
Thanks, Michael. To read more stories on the Opportunity for All Center, go to the Volant website.
Students have been talking about the quality of water in Vermilion. To get to the bottom of this, Coyote News' Grant Robertson went to Vermilion's water treatment plant to learn about the process.
USD's water supply comes from the Melvin D. Stagelmeyer Water Treatment Plant in Vermilion. Here the water goes through various processes to ensure cleanliness. It is then gravity pumped through the system into the entire Vermilion area. Kurt Hackison is the water supervisor at the plant who explains the process of getting water ready for drinking.
Here we soften it some. A lot of people say it still isn't soft enough, but if we soften the water clear down to the zero, you would have no taste. We get the raw water in, we mix lime and soda ash with it and polymer to make it coagulate, and then it sinks to the bottom, the hardness, then it's filtered, and then it goes into our clear well and we put chlorine into it for disinfectant, and then it goes out into our reservoir and then it's pumped to the towers and into the system. Then we have to send 10 bacteria samples into the state a month. That's a test for it to, to make sure we're still doing safe water and all that stuff. There's all kinds of metals and stuff in the water. That's what we try to take out. We got a plaque this year. We have been 20 straight years that we've got the Safe Water Award from the state. So yes, the water is safe.
Kurt assures that the water is constantly being tested for anything that may be dangerous to consume. Reporting for Coyote News, I'm Grant Robertson.
For concerns about the quality of water, you can reach out to the Vermilion Water Department online. Still to come on Coyote News, a new downtown bar has opened, and it's becoming quite the holler.
This is Coyote News.
The psychology of sexuality is an upper-level elective course that is popular among students. What may come as a surprise is the content they'll learn. Cynthia Struckman-Johnson teaches students about all forms of sexuality, from the reproductive system to fetishes, which are taught through pornographic content.
Honestly, it's kind of eye-opening. I know we see a lot of sexual content in the media and online, but in a learning setting, I feel like it's a little bit different because we're learning the background of it.
Before taking the class, students aren't required to sign a consent form, but are given a warning about the content they'll watch.
So we can take away a ton from every different image and video that we see, just about sexuality and kind of the things that revolve around it.
A group of undergrad research students are currently working on a survey about the use of pornography.
A student organization is holding events throughout October to celebrate LGBTQ+ History Month, including a fashion show. Coyote News' Morgan Ray shares the details.
Organized by Spectrum, the Great Pumpkin Gala Fashion Show offers students a safe place to be creative and express themselves however they choose.
And it's an escape from all of the other stuff that we have to deal with in our normal presentation that's already mocked at, but when we're in a costume, it's almost like it's an excuse for us to really show who we really are, though.
The show also serves as a tribute to ball culture, an essential part of LGBT history.
I want it to sort of represent ball culture, which is also huge in the LGBT community, more specifically with like LGBT people of color. So I think it's very important to discuss those kinds of things in our community.
Participants in the gala are rated by a panel of judges and win different prizes based on their score. For Coyote News, I'm Morgan Ray.
Spectrum's next event will be a drag show this Saturday in Alf's Auditorium at 7.
Getting around campus can be difficult for students who are confined to a wheelchair or crutches. Coyote News' Josie Wright spoke with students about how disability services worked with them to accommodate their needs.
The majority of campus is in compliance with the American Disabilities Act, but are constantly trying to make things easier for students with mobility issues or other disabilities. Many facilities across the U.S. built before 1990 that have not been renovated are still not in compliance with ADA regulations. Most of the buildings and dorms on campus have elevators, other than Richie Olson Hall, where wheelchair-bound students could still live if on the first floor. Disability Services aims to be as proactive as possible in making the campus more accessible.
At the beginning of the semester, I was on crutches, and the campus made it super accommodating for me to get around. There was elevators on all of the buildings that I needed to get to the second floor, third floor of my classes. And the only issues that I had were at my apartment that's off campus because I live on the second floor and there's no elevator.
Disability Services works with the registrar to move some classrooms to the first floor and have had door openers put on some Coyote Village dorms and halls in Churchill Haynes. USD will continue to make the campus as accessible as possible for all students. For Coyote News, I'm Josie Wright.
If there are ways that the campus could be more accessible for you, contact Disability Services located in room 116 of the North Complex Commons.
This past Sunday, the USD Music Department hosted the second annual Outdoor Music Festival at Prentice Park. The free outdoor concert was open to the public. There were live performances from both USD and Vermilion High School. The festival included 9 ensembles from USD and Vermilion High School. People were encouraged to bring their own chairs and blankets and move freely around the park between performances. The festival was created during COVID-19 because of the challenges of performing indoors. Now it's just a great way to show off Vermilion's musical talent and bring the community together.
Today, Nicholas Cruz pleaded guilty to murdering 17 people at his former high school in Parkland, Florida on February 14, 2018. The jury selection is scheduled to begin in January. Circuit Judge Elizabeth Scherer will screen thousands of prospective jurors. The 12 jurors will decide if Cruz will be sentenced to death or life in prison without parole. Cruz was charged with 17 counts of murder and 17 counts of attempted first-degree murder for those wounded. Cruz says he wishes it was up to the survivors to determine if he lives or dies. Anthony Borges, a survivor, says it's not up to him to decide Cruz's fate. After the shooting, some Stoneman Douglas students launched the March for Our Lives movement, which pushes for stronger gun restrictions nationally.
Downtown Vermilion is home of 6 different bars. Over Dakota Days weekend, you may have noticed a newcomer to the scene. Located in the old Maya Janes building, the Holler Bar seeks to bring a new environment to Vermilion's nightlife. Owner Patrick Mazer worked long hours to have the bar open for Dakota Days, acquiring ownership of the building just 2 weeks prior. Mazer says he wants Holler to be the ultimate college bar, a fun, clean, and safe environment with the best deals in town.
Well, yeah, we wanted to be open for D-Days just to kind of show the community what we have and, you know, the progress that we made since, you know, everybody was going to be in town. So we thought it was a good move to be open by D-Days, and we made that happen. So I saw the opportunity and felt like there needed to be another bar here in Vermilion, and I just wanted to bring some cool things to town, and so a lot of opportunity here.
The next big project for the bar is acquiring a mechanical bull. Currently, Holler can only serve beer and hard seltzers, but acquiring a liquor license is something Mazer says is in the works.
Last week, Coyote Volleyball defeated the last remaining Summit League undefeated team.
That's right, Rachel. When we return, Kyle and Sydney will have details on that match and more.
This is Coyote News.
This is Coyote Sports. I'm Kyle Ireland.
And I'm Sydney Funderman. The Coyotes had some big wins over the weekend, and we have details. The Coyote football team took down number 16 Northern Iowa by the score of 34-21 on Saturday. USD's special teams forced a short punt and the offense took advantage, scoring a touchdown off a Carson Camp to Carter Bell 5-yard touchdown throw and catch. UNI's next drive was ended by Jack Cochran's interception that led USD to another touchdown, this time by Travis Tice. The Panthers scored 2 touchdowns in under 5 minutes to start the second half, but the Coyotes responded with a pair of scores of their own. Coyote running backs governed the second half as USD didn't throw a single pass for the last quarter and a half until the final play of the game. The Coyotes moved to number 15 in the FCS rankings and will be back inside the Dakota Dome Saturday at 1 o'clock.
The triathlon team competed in Virginia last weekend, where they finished second among the 5 Division I schools, which was good enough to qualify them for the USA Triathlon Collegiate National Championship. The Coyotes were led by junior Maddie Lavin, who came across the line third on Saturday. On Monday, it was announced that freshman Micah Pullett will be on the 2021 USA Junior World Triathlon Championship team. The event will be in Portugal on November 6th and 7th. The Coyotes will compete in one more regional qualifier in Utah on October 30th before the national championship on November 13th.
The Coyote women's swim team lost 176-64 in a duel against Iowa State inside the Dakota Dome pool on Saturday. The Iowa State Cyclones won all 13 of the swimming and diving events during the meet. The Coyote women's dual mark is now 1-1 this season. Freshman Mairead Powers placed second in the 200-meter backstroke. Junior Tegan Habercorn also placed second in the 400-meter freestyle. Sophomore diver Stella Fairbanks placed second in the 3-meter diving event, as well as placing 5th in the 1-meter diving event. Isabel Fairbanks was the runner-up in the 200-meter breaststroke. The South Dakota men and women will travel to the University of Kansas this weekend for the Kansas Tri-Duels.
USD's club baseball team had their first scrimmage of the year against Dakota State baseball. Coyote News' Philip Larson is live in the muck with a player to find out what their plans are for this year. Phil?
Thanks, Kyle. I'm here live in the muck with Alex Bretzman, who is the club president for club baseball here at USD. Alex, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you. How you doing?
Doing good. So how's the team looking to address what we saw in the first game as you move forward to face Wayne State tomorrow?
We played DSU, and they're a really good ball club. We played a lot of good defense, and we threw strikes. We just got to find a way to put the ball and play more, and good things are going to happen tomorrow.
Gotcha. And what are the overall goals looking forward for the team this season?
I think the goals this year are to win more ball games, obviously. Right around the 500 mark, I'd say, is our biggest goal, and obviously have as much fun as we can doing it.
Okay. Expecting to win a lot this year?
I'm expected to. We got a pretty good lineup this year.
Gotcha. And how can students who might be interested in club baseball get involved?
You can follow us on Twitter, on Instagram at USD Club Baseball. We post all of our stuff there. We have a clothing order where you can order a bunch of stuff, order some t-shirts, some sweatshirts, some shorts, anything you want. Basically, it's on there. That closes October 27th if you're looking to buy any USD Club Baseball gear.
Okay. Well, Alex, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Live in the muck for Coyote News, I'm Philip Larson.
Thanks, Phil. The team will face Wayne State in their next game.
It was a battle of the Dakotas over the weekend as USD soccer swept NDSU and UND this past weekend. The Coyotes hosted the North Dakota Fighting Hawks on Friday. Alexis Mitchell ended the 43-minute stalemate with her 6th goal of the season. UND developed some chances in the second half, but they were all shut down by goalkeeper Emma Harkleroad, giving the Coyotes a 1-0 win. 2 days later, the North Dakota Bison came to Vermillion for USD's pink game. 30 minutes in, Madison Sullivan set up Jordan Centineo for the first goal of the match. The Coyotes returned from half and quickly added a pair of goals from Centineo and Shaylee Galis. Centineo fired her first career hat trick when she once again found the net during the 63rd minute of play. Freshman Haley Phoenix scored the final shot that was deflected in by a Bison defender, ending the game with the final score of 5-0. The Coyotes will be back in the First Bank and Trust Soccer Complex for the final time this season, taking on state rival SDSU on Sunday at 1 o'clock.
The Coyotes volleyball team played 2 matches on the road. On Thursday, they played the only remaining undefeated Summit League team, the Omaha Mavericks. The Coyotes won the first set, but the Mavericks bounced back and won the second and third. The teams traded points back and forth, but USD secured the victory with a pair of wins in the 4th and 5th. The Coyotes looked to continue their roll onto Denver, but the Pioneers took the final 3 sets, winning the match with the scores of 25-13, 25-17, and 15-10. The volleyball team will travel to Brookings on Friday to take on the Jackrabbits.
That's all for your Coyote sports.
Coming up on Coyote News, students gave us an inside look at a popular app.
I like shooting live because you have a greater responsibility. You get to go out, get hands-on experience in the field, and you know it's leading you to something great for the future. I really like the teamwork and being able to communicate with people. We all know what jobs we're supposed to be doing, and we all know what needs to get done. There's something about being live outside of the studio. Being on your own, it's just a different energy. I like being part of a team and working together to get the perfect interview. I think it's worth it from all the experience and all the skills you're going to get from it. It definitely helps you break down some barriers and opens you up to new experiences.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, this is your Uncle Tom.
Hey, Tom.
I was just wondering, how's school going there for you, kid? I don't mean to interrupt or anything, but I'm just kind of in a rush because they only let you have a 1.5-minute call when you get booked at the police station.
What do you mean you're in jail? You want $400 again? Are you serious?
Well, I mean, I guess if you want to see your uncle in a cage, then that's your prerogative. And I mean, I probably should have wasted my
Come on.
phone call on your dad.
Whoa.
Would have got the same answer.
Yeah, you probably would have, because you're an animal and you belong in a cage.
Thanks again here for being there for me. I know that you really care a lot about me and my well-being.
Well, you don't care about my well-being. You're trying to take my money so you can just continue to be a criminal. That's fine then.
You got 5 seconds.
Oh yeah, we'll go to rehab.
This is Coyote News.
Yik Yak is an anonymous posting app that connects the user with others within a 5-mile radius, has caught the attention of students.
In this week's Out and About, we asked students what the weirdest post they've seen on the app.
Here's what they had to say.
Coyote Crazy Trevor running someone over with like the golf cart thing.
Do student athletes also have sex with their backpacks on? And I thought it was so funny I died.
Some weirdo started a trend about student ambassador Ben.
Probably all the stuff about Coyote Crazy Trevor. I have an Android, so I can't use Yik Yak.
Lots of inappropriate statements that I'm not going to repeat here.
Carter Linky is attractive, and that's just weird.
People were hitting on one of my RAs.
Talking about the throw up on the floor in MIG 301, or like the MIG 3 hallway.
Well, I was on Yik Yak at the Republicans and Democrats debate. There were a lot of weird things on there.
I saw on Yik Yak slander at the Redhead Club after like the dumpster fire behind the Fine Arts building. I thought that was pretty funny.
Well, Rachel, I have a Yik Yak score of over 400, and I'm proud of it.
I have yet to download Yik Yak, and I don't know if I want to. Today is a Bones Day. Jonathan Graziano and his pug have gone viral on TikTok with over 2 million followers, and on Twitter where the hashtag #NoBones has reached nearly 194 million views. Graziano posts almost daily about his 13-year-old pug, Noodles. They play a game called No Bones. The game decides if today is a Bones Day or a No Bones Day. To play the game, Graziano hoists his sleepy pug out of his comfortable bed. If Noodles falls, it's a No Bones Day, but if Noodles stands, it's a Bones Day. A No Bones Day is the time to lay low, relax, and cancel plans without regrets. A Bones Day is a day to get things done.
Pick up this week's issue of the Volant with a look at the Vermilion Cloggers class.
That's all for Coyote News. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Watch and listen for Coyote News daily updates throughout the week, now included in Spanish on our social media pages.
Thank you for joining us. Have a great evening.